Welcome to this interview with myself, Lucas Ridley, and Jerome here from the Blue Jerome YouTube channel. And we're just going to chat a little bit about his experience creating Minecraft animations and all the other things that he does and is learning and wants to do. And so I'll just give a quick introduction for myself. My name is Lucas Ridley. I've been working in the film and games industry for over 10 years, and I teach online as well how to make cool stuff in Maya and After Effects and other things like that. And that's actually how Jerome and I met. He's taking one of my courses, but he's an impressive creator in his own right. And I saw his stuff on YouTube and wanted to chat with him about how he makes it, because I don't know that side of things very much. So do you mind introducing yourself a little bit? Because this is the first time we've actually spoken in person,
yeah, sure.
remotely. So
also something new to me. So yeah, with the interview stuff and stuff like that. So my name is Jerome Gregory. I'm 24. I come from Germany and I'm doing Minecraft animations since 2012. And yeah, for 8 years now. And currently I'm working on a Minecraft series called Running to Never, which is animated, of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're knocking on the door of like 190,000 YouTube subscribers now. I think I saw today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, has that always been a steady trajectory, or have you, is that a new thing to get that many followers, or?
Not really. So when I started, it was 2012. I was 16 years old and I just was in school, and I didn't really had much to do with animating or stuff like that. So I was a bit into film. So I made some short films with my friends, like Star Wars short films. So I had After Effects and just did some stuff with that. But 3D animation was more later, and so I got into that really spontaneous and didn't really thought about it.
Nice. So it wasn't like the Minecraft animation, it didn't originate with that. It originated making other things, and then you've kind of gone into it through making your own little shorts and visual effects, it sounds like.
Yeah, right. So I got a lot of inspirations by other animations on YouTube, and there were just a bunch of visual effects artists out there. So like Corridor Digital or Freddie Wong.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you know them.
Oh yeah.
And that was first. So my first step into the VFX industry. And then I saw like I think his name was Tom Antes. Maybe you know him. And he created Angry Bird short film. So it was like animated, 3D animated, and put into the real world. And I was so excited about it that I needed to download Maya and I just looked into the program, and I was so overwhelmed that I directly deleted it. So yeah, it was...
that seems to be a common occurrence. That's part of the reason why I made that class I did that you're taking, because I totally know that feeling. You open and you're like, I don't even know where to start. There's too many buttons, and it's just like...
I remember when you said it looks like an alien interface or something like that. And yeah, that was my thinking to that time. And yeah, I deleted it and just stayed with After Effects for a long time. So for 1 year, I think. And yeah, then I tried it again because I was so impressed by other animations that I needed to learn how it works. So I gave it another try, and yeah, it was successful, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, I saw how we connected was, you shared the Harry Potter, the golden snitch, modeling that you're doing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
what
cool.
do you thought about it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a great start. It's a great example of like, you could take something that looks simple and make it more complex, and how you're, it's a great starting point.
Yeah. The thing was, I watched your Maya classes, and I didn't really had any problems with following the steps, what you said and stuff, because I already had a bit background of 3D, of course, and so it was just the navigation which was a bit new for me. And yeah, but modeling was something I did the first time now, and so I had to figure out how to make a model by my own. So
nice.
it was
I hope you keep doing
nice
it, because it looks like you're doing great stuff.
Yeah, of course. I try to go more into modeling because I really found a passion, I think.
Nice.
Because it's really fun. And
I'm curious about the Minecraft stuff, because I don't know anything about that world, and I honestly have never played that game. I know it's obviously insanely popular, and probably most people watching this are more familiar with it than I am. But can you explain a little bit, like how you just step one, like how do you get in, how do you make those animations, the Minecraft animations that are so popular on your channel? Is that its own thing? Because I know the Sims, you can kind of like, take over. I don't even know how that works. But like for me, coming from I'm like, oh, you must have a rig and a how do you get those models and the textures?
Really new.
Yeah,
I know. So Minecraft animations is like a bit easily made for beginners, I would say, because if you start with Minecraft animations, you have like a big library of rigs and model packs and stuff on the internet, because there are so many people out there, also young people, students and stuff, who actually just made just by fun Minecraft rigs and model packs, which
are they making them for what program?
It's different. So Cinema 4D, there are a lot of tutorials for Blender. So Cinema 4D and Blender are the most.
Is that which one do you use for those?
I use Cinema 4D.
Okay.
So back then I started with Cinema 4D. A lot of Maya tutorials are on a lot of Maya rigs and tutorials are there for Blender, because it's for free, and like young people can just download it and use it by their own. So
nice.
Yeah.
So that's a whole market that I'm not familiar with. So is there what's some of the names people would that's recognizable, like some of the websites, or is there, because like if you use Unreal, there's the Unreal Marketplace, and that's kind of the place everyone goes to get.
Yeah, not really.
It's not as centralized like that for Minecraft stuff.
Not really.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people who just sell it on Selfie, for example, or just their websites and stuff. So it's not really something official.
Okay.
And a lot of Minecraft animators already work with Maya a lot. So they switched from Blender to Maya to make to make the way into the film industry.
Okay.
And
nice. So
I stayed really long with Cinema 4D. So
okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to start using Maya for those, or just stick with Cinema, you think?
That's the plan, to switch over to Maya. I'm just a bit anxious about to switch to a new program, because it's something really new for me.
Yeah, and if you have a workflow, it's always hard to. I'm learning some Blender right now, and it's the same thing. You kind of miss the tools that you're familiar with, or you're like, they call the same thing something by a different name, and I'm sure if English isn't your first language, you might not have the thesaurus in your mind to connect. Maybe even there's probably another level of difficulty there.
Understanding English is not really the problem. Okay. Mostly more the speaking. Writing is also okay, but I am not speaking so much English in reality, so it's a bit tough. So to say my thoughts, but I think it works.
No, I mean, you're doing great. I'm just thinking in my head, I at least don't have that barrier, of having to know what a tool like bevel, I don't know what that would be in German, or
Okay.
whatever.
Actually, you teach so many tools which I didn't use for now. So yeah, and most of the tools are I know them because if you watch up tutorials, mostly they are on English, and you directly find them.
Okay.
So,
and so like how long has it taken for you to gain the subscriber following that you've got now? Was it an immediate linear, like if you look at your analytics on YouTube, is it like from day one you're like this, or is there like one video that kind of spiked and started that channel? Like were you always as serious about it as you are now, or was there a moment where you're like, all right, I need to get more serious about this, and because it's gaining traction?
Yes. So at the beginning, there was a different YouTube algorithm. So when there was a big Minecraft animator who had 100,000 subscribers, it was just he can. So he just liked the video from me, and then it was shown for the subscribers in the subscriber feed for the subscribers.
Of his.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. So it was a really powerful thing when big animators just liked your video and it was directly shown.
Yeah. Who's that animator, and what video was it of yours?
So back then it was Slammercow. Slammercow was one of the first Minecraft animators back then, and he made like really cartoonish Minecraft animations, also music videos, just a few. And yeah, he liked it was one of my first videos. I think it was the fourth video. I think 2013 it was. It was Gladiator, a Minecraft. So,
and so now you're at this stage, almost 190, thousand followers. Is this something that you do full time, or is this like a part-time thing, or where does this fit into your kind of professional life?
Yeah, at the moment, it's already a full-time job, I would say. So November and December, it's a full-time job, and so because of the sellings of advertising and stuff, and yeah, but mostly it's.
Well, first, congratulations, because that's awesome. I think a lot of people, like that's their dream, is to do that. So I don't mean to interrupt your answer. I just wanted to congratulate you, because that's
thank you. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. So it was a long way to gain the subscriber amount. So to your last question, it was not like exponential. So it was also exponential, but not really that it was like a linear exponential curve.
Yeah,
it was more like settled, and then sometimes videos go viral or stuff, and then you gain a lot of subscribers later.
Is there any, besides like the early algorithm thing you mentioned, is there anything that you've noticed or done that, or try to do, that helps like gain more traction or exposure? I guess for Minecraft, is there specific sites you try to share your things on, or get featured on, or is there anything like that?
Yes. So I'm not sure if you know the game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
it's a really popular game, and a lot of Minecraft animators combine movies with the game. So they make like Five Nights at Freddy's in Minecraft animations, and those videos gain a lot of attention. Or if you do like other games in Minecraft, which are just popular right now,
right,
in the trend, they gain a lot of attraction too. So I made a Baymax in Minecraft music video.
Yeah, I saw that.
Short film, and yeah, it has now almost 10 million views now.
That's amazing.
Congrats. Yeah, thank you. It was one of the most going viral videos I had on my channel, And yeah, it was just the time when Baymax came out, and it blew up really fast. So
That's
I don't
great.
know, 100,000 views in a day, and it was crazy because I was just in my what's called not sure. I was in a job, so
Okay.
and from school, so.
So I mean, when you said earlier, you said November, December. Are you referring to you've just started full time that recently, or
Um,
like this full time YouTube thing has been going
um,
on how long?
so it just made it's just possible for me to make it full time because in November and December I had a lot of income because of the advertising and stuff.
Yeah, is that just because of the you're saying November, December because of the holiday season? There's a lot of
Yeah,
advertising
right,
going on. Yeah.
right. So it
Okay.
was just like the income was so high I could live from that. And for January and February, it was also really good. And there was a collaboration in December with a guy called Animator. And he has 1.5 million subscribers, I think. And we made like a Christmas special together. So we made a collaboration with a crossover video. So we made one video for his channel and the other part for my channel.
Nice.
So people were like watching his animation, and then the story continued on my channel.
Smart.
And people.
How does something like that come about? Do you approach him, or how do you pitch? Do you pitch that to him, or did he come to you?
I came to him actually. So I was asking him if he wants to do a collaboration, because I think the community needs to collaborate a bit more, because I saw many animators just doing their own thing and have a lot of these competition in mind. So I think animators need to be closer together and work together, grow together, and not just doing their own thing and compare to each other.
Yeah.
So,
This kind of leads into my next kind of question nicely, because I've noticed, in your videos, you add credits, which I feel like is kind of unique, to be honest, in YouTube videos, that they're so, some of yours are at the very beginning even. And so can you tell me a little bit about the people that you work with, how you found them? And because, yeah, I mean, to your point, it's especially when you look at your videos, between the sound and the scale and how frequently you're posting, it seems like you would need some help to do that kind of stuff.
I started with the credits because I had a lot of people working on it, and I think those people needs to be appreciated, of course. And if you can't really compare to other YouTube videos where just one person is in front of the camera and the other the cameraman is filming, and then of course you just have two people who are working on the video. But if you make like a project which takes 2 until 3 months, it's really important to appreciate the people and put the credits on it. And I think it's also a professional thing to do, also if it's just a YouTube video, because a lot of effort went into the video, into the animation. And
I think it's great. How did you find these? Do you work with the same people every time, or how do you find them?
Actually, the last video, the previous one, and not the Alan Walker video, the Heroes Tonight music video, that was one of the most, it took the most of the effort. And I found them through Twitter. There's an animation community which those people posting a lot of their own work on Twitter, and so you can see who
is there a hashtag for that you follow, or is there
not really a hashtag? It's more like a network of people. So you see other animators, and you see those animations, and then you see also the credits, and they link the Twitter accounts. and so you can just check them out on Twitter, and you have like a category, not category, like a list of a bunch of people. So I just just found them through that, so through other animations, and I just hired them on
That's
Discord.
Great. I mean, that's what I'm getting, from some of these responses is like, I mean, you sound very proactive, like the collaboration with this other person, going out and finding people, none of this is kind of just falling in your lap. You're doing a lot of non-animation work to get the animation to work. And I think that's important for people who maybe don't think about that first, like all the other things that go into it, and being very proactive like you are. That's great.
That's an interesting topic, because on YouTube, it's not that you just create animation like you do. Maybe you do also freelance stuff and have more departments which you are doing. And for me, it's more like having a lot of departments, so maybe all of departments to do. So I just create a story, then hire the people, and doing all the organizing stuff too. So yeah.
And kind of in that same vein, are the music videos, do you approach the artists, or do you know their music, or is there some platform where I think now that I say that, I think there's like a platform that like is specific to find artists to I'm gonna have to find it and I'll post it.
Epidemic Sounds, maybe.
Yeah, there's something specific for music videos to find people to help on it. But anyway, is that like, how do you connect with people to make those music videos?
Yeah, it's really different. So when I made the first music video for my channel, Running to Never was it? So the first video from the Running to Never series, and I hired Tryhard Ninja. It's a content creator. He does a lot of music for other Minecraft animators, and was one of the most popular musicians in that area. Also one of the most known people who do gaming music and stuff. So yeah, he worked on one of the first Minecraft music videos. It was Revenge and the Fallen Kingdom series for Captain Sparkles. Not sure if that says.
I don't know this space that much. I mean, that's why I wanted to chat with you, because it's, it seems fascinating that it's such a huge community that I'm totally unaware of. So that's why I wanted to chat with you and learn more about it. Yeah.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 36 now.
36?
Yeah. Yeah. How old do you think I was?
28, I would say.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You look really young. But me too. So I don't look like 24, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I didn't even know what you looked like before we started chatting just now. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You could have been 90 years old for all I know. I don't know, or 12. It didn't matter to me. But yeah, it's, but the Minecraft thing, I feel like kind of passed me by, because I was, I've just totally missed the boat on that. I think maybe just age-wise, but
it's also a topic which I really like to talk about, because there's so much, so less traffic on this topic to, in the film industry, for example. I think it's really underestimated.
I think that what's interesting to me about the Minecraft space is it almost plays like Lego does, where Lego is like the building block, and they license so many other kind of franchises and put it on their minifigures, where I feel like Minecraft is a similar kind of blank canvas where you could kind of make anything with it, and it's such a well-known and recognizable entity that, like you're saying, it's just ripe for people to apply their own creativity to it. It is really interesting, and it's cool to see you do that, and how successful you've been on YouTube with it is really encouraging.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, a really interesting thing about Minecraft is what you said. It's identical to Lego. So it's really the same thing like Lego, but more in the modern world. So it's not, you can create much more stuff with Minecraft, So yeah, I'm not sure if you ever played Minecraft, but I
I've
mean, you
seen people
can.
play it. I've never played it myself. You know, it's one of those things where like maybe I have played it for a second, but yeah,
Mm.
I've seen people play it. I kind of get the idea, but
I mean, you can build houses, you can
mm,
search for resources, or you can build your own mini games in Minecraft. So there's already a marketplace where you
yeah,
can create your own mini games and sell them. And yeah, it's just a really big topic now. And I think it's already a cultural thing which
yeah,
will stay for a long time, a bit
yeah.
like Lego. So
It's
and oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I like echo what you're saying. I'm actually listening to I forget the guy who created The Sims, Walter or Will. I forget what his name is, but he does a master class for masterclass.com. But he's kind of saying these things in his games kind of have a similar reflection to Minecraft, where it's like he wants to allow the player to also be a creator within that world. And I feel like that's, you know, The Sims or you know, Lego games or just Lego as a physical product, but and Minecraft, you know, in general, and like Fortnite adding the ability to build stuff, like allowing people not to just experience but also participate and create seems to be like a
Mm.
defining factor of a lot of these successful games, and like you're demonstrating, branch out into its own platforms of giving creators abilities to do things they wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Mm. Yeah, Minecraft is a really creative game where you can really make anything happen. So there's also a lot of stuff you can do which you don't know about Minecraft. So it's like making music in Minecraft. So there are like blocks with different notes where you can make songs, trending songs and stuff. It's
Nice.
really
Yeah,
crazy. So yeah, you should definitely check it out sometime and
absolutely.
play a
Yeah.
bit
Um,
if you have time.
yeah, that's the tough thing. I mean, I haven't even played the game. I got
Mm.
PlayStation Plus or whatever, and so I get, you know, a couple of free games every month, and I'm just like hitting add to cart or buy or whatever just so that I can save them to download later. And I am like a
I see.
year behind in games I need to play.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's also important that as a creative person to also get inspired a bit more when you play games and
mm,
stuff, because the with the games you also see new stuff which will be integrated in the games, and like movements, or I don't know, new techniques, for
100%.
example, and you
Yeah.
can apply it to your own skill set, and that's really nice.
Yeah. It's the catch 22 of work. You know, I work in the games industry right now. Previously I worked in films, but it's like the catch 22 when you, this stuff takes so long and it takes so much effort to make. It's like, it's hard to also then consume it, just time wise. Like I just run out of time. I have to choose.
I
Am I,
totally know what you mean,
yeah, it's tough.
because because I also work a lot, and I when I start playing, lastly I started playing Lego Harry Potter, and it was really weird because, and not weird, it was I didn't really enjoy it because I was always in my mind that it doesn't bring something. um yeah, it's time wasting for me. So so
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't had really a goal. When I achieve it, it brings me forward in
Right.
my real life, if you know what I mean.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So but that's not the way you need to see it, because I told you in the DM
Mhm.
that I saw the in between story animations of Lego Harry Potter,
Mm.
and um, so I'm doing your Maya class right now, and so I see more problems which are made in the animation. So like if they have round arms and they are not beveled really,
Mm.
and it's something yeah, you just notice then, and you know, okay, you can make it better, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
So
it's that's another kind of double-edged sword. With once you start learning this stuff, you can't enjoy it as much the way you used to, because then you're distracted by noticing things like that, which is
mm,
good and bad, because then you're like, developing your eye more, but you're also, for your own personal pleasure, depriving yourself of that, and you're getting distracted by critiquing. And so it's hard to turn that off. I know what you mean.
sure. So it's really hard for my friends in the cinema. So when I say, "Ah, no, that was not so good," and I just criticize everything and stuff. So it's not like I really criticize a lot, but yeah,
No, it's hard.
it's,
Yeah, it's just hard when you don't. And sometimes some of it
yeah,
happens so
filmmaker.
fast. If you don't say it, then someone
Mm,
won't even know what you're talking about 5 seconds later, because it was such a short thing. I do that with with my wife. We're watching something, and I'm like, "Oh, did you notice they didn't rotoscope that right?" They're, you know,
Did
um,
you see the alien thing with 4 arms? I didn't think it looked really well.
yeah. And then, like, sometimes she's very. I don't know if she's very patient with me when I because for myself, I'm like, I feel like I'm just saying it for my own, to hear my voice
So
sometimes, but
your
she's very nice to let me talk about it.
is your wife also doing something in the film industry, or is she something
No,
doing something
she's
else?
no, but she enjoys. I mean, she enjoys watching that stuff. But no,
Mm,
she does brand and marketing for a biotech company. So it's a
mm.
different kind of space, but they
Yeah,
do.
it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's cool for me, because I'm actually have a
Mm,
science degree, so I'm always interested to hear,
mm,
um, what's going on in the science world for them.
mm.
Anyway, I kind of tangent real quick. She actually listens to a ton of murder podcasts, which a lot of people do, but one of their CEO guys or I don't even know. I'm saying all this wrong, but he's all these podcasts are referencing this guy that works for this company of my wife's, because he's developing this new way to identify, DNA or sequence genomes or whatever stuff beyond, way over my head. But she was like, "Oh, I was listening to this murder podcast, and they mentioned so and so. I forget what his name is, but
Ah, yes.
so it's
All
always
right.
fun to hear, like, cutting edge science stuff in general, and how that's impacting popular culture
Yeah,
of murder podcasts."
you seem also like a really um you are gathering the informations like crazy.
Yeah. Well, and
So yeah.
two, just working in animation in general, it's like you need to be a citizen of the world and of every subject, because maybe you're animating a scientist at some point, or you need to have a point of reference for, that's the fun part about this, is you can kind of go down
Yeah,
rabbit holes to develop.
so that's really interesting because I think being on the top all the time is really, I don't know, is it not really uh, yeah, I I'm not sure what I'm saying. Um,
That's okay.
is it not hard to always staying on the top of the animation industry? Like you need to know everything that's yeah
Yeah.
trending right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like you use Twitter. I was just getting familiar with Maya's new 2020 that came out with 2022, for example, using Twitter, and did an Autodesk didn't ask me anything, and so I'm on Twitter, everything, asking them about the new USD format that they came out with.
Mm,
So I mean, I use social media to try to keep up, because it's a nice, easy way. Open your phone, take 10 seconds, and be like, is there anything happening? Like Blue Sky closing down yesterday
mm,
or day before. Um, Stuff like that that's not on my radar immediately, but it's just so much to keep up with. And
mm,
but at the end of the day, it's not like that's gonna lose or get you a job necessarily. It's just good for your own well-roundedness as an artist, I think, to be aware and to help inform work, or give you ideas to go off and do your own thing. So
mm.
yeah,
So do you think it takes a lot to make your job, like uh, getting a really good animator job like you do, and having a big kind of skill set?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you want to work for, or what you want to do. Because I think at the beginning, it can be overwhelming trying to figure that out, because we all consume a lot of different kinds of media, whether it's game, movies, a series on Netflix, visual effects, or if it's fully animated. And I'm someone who had, there's the shiny object syndrome where every time you see a shiny object, you get distracted and go for that one and that one and that one. You never really.
Mm.
And so I think a lot of people who start out, their initial interest is from that because they like so many things and get so enthusiastic. So it's hard to pin down career wise which way do you want to go, because you do kind of need to do that a little bit. So I think as long as people can start to focus, because at the higher levels, recruiters or the supervisors for that team, they're hiring for very specific reasons and shows. So let's say the top visual effects studio in the world is doing a brand new, technology implementation of a thing. So you need to be on demonstrate that have been in that ballpark, that wheelhouse. You've been near that kind of technology or something, because they're pulling from a global population. It's not like people who live in San Francisco are the only ones they're looking for. You're competing with the entire world. And so that's where they can kind of take the very top % cream of the crop who have, super unique resumes of they were like a robotics engineer and then they switched into animation, or there's like crazy people with crazy experiences that you're competing with. So I think where you're going to find the most success is when you're pursuing the thing that you're most interested in, because you're going to do it beyond the average amount than the next person. So I think it's easy to get distracted and try to always be fulfilling the perceived want of the industry, where to some degree your success is going to depend on your own effort, and that's going to come from whatever you like to do the most. So you kind of have to just narrow that focus a little bit. Sorry, that's a long answer.
I see.
But sorry, let's get back to me asking you questions.
Yeah, sure. But it's really interesting to get now like a short
sorry, I don't. If you have more questions, I just don't want to lose the train here.
Yeah, sure.
Me asking you questions. But if you have any more questions, let me know here in a minute. But I wanted to, because I'm almost done with the list that I have for you.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Forward. So where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Or I don't know, 10 years is a long time, especially in any kind of tech industry. But it sounds like you've kind of most recently been able to start to do this full time. Is this something that you kind of you want to keep doing that, or is there another, like we were just talking about the industry as a whole? Do you want to go work for a studio, or just do your own thing, or?
So the plan was, so I'm actually making Minecraft animations as full-time job, but I noticed that it's really hard to keep that safe. So if you upload like 1 month or 2 months no videos or animations, it's really hard to keep the community together, because YouTube is a really fast living platform, and you always need to drop out videos, and it's kind of hard to stay so quick. And it's especially hard for me because I really want to pull out videos which are really stand behind it. And you can see my animations, probably they are good, but there are always departments. So all departments are good, but not really good. So there's always a bit more potential where I can put more effort into it. So I would really like to make something like focusing on one thing, and then just working on that.
Nice.
So
and YouTube just came out with the kind of membership for people who have, I don't know what subscriber base, what the cutoff or threshold is, but so I mean, you have people can join your channel as like members it's like a Patreon kind of a thing, but for YouTube, right?
Yes, it's exactly like Patreon. So you can.
Sorry, you're back. You cut out for a second. Go ahead.
All right. So YouTube it's a bit like Patreon. You have different tiers which you can offer, and so maybe like $2 or $5 or $10 they can donate to you, and
Is
in
that
return
per,
get rewards.
is that per month or is that per video?
What do you mean?
Is it do they pay that per month or per video?
It's per month.
Okay.
Per month.
So if you put out
So
10 videos in 1 month, it's not like they're going to get charged more or something. It's just
exactly. So
okay.
so it's a bit like a safe income
Mhm.
you have. So it's not like you are really dependent on the views now. You have also the side income which you get through the membership.
That's great.
So yeah, and you asked me what I'm wanting to do in the future. You're saying you're asking so fast, so I
Sorry.
couldn't really go into that question so much. So to get back to the other question,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm trying to go a bit more into one thing, to focus a bit more on modeling, for example, or animation, and doing that as a side thing, so next to YouTube. And maybe yeah, trying to evolve a bit more as a animator or whatever I want to do, because actually it's still open for me what I want to do, because I have a bit experience in all things, and it's all really interesting.
Yeah.
But
And
it's really hard
did you say
to
you're 24 or 26? How old are you?
24.
Yeah. I didn't even start learning this stuff until I was like 26. So
Really?
yeah, you've got a
I think
huge head start.
I saw that you going to film school in 2015 or something.
2000
Ah,
when did I go to
four,
Phil? Or no, 2000
5,000.
when did I go? 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's
because
a
I'm
long
36,
time
so it'd be
ago.
26. Yeah, 2010. Yeah, so I
Crazy.
mean, in a short
Yeah,
amount of time, you can
I think
switch up, do whatever. But
mm.
you got plenty of time. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'm already doing it for 8 years now.
Mhm.
So I started with 16
Right.
3D animation, but it's like for me, I already doing it for 8 years, but I didn't really specialized in one special thing. And yeah, so in my mind, it's like, oh, I need to specialize on one thing now, and yeah, maybe grow in that direction a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all depends on what you
So
want to
that's why,
do. You're like your YouTube channel. I think I mean, you're successful at what you're doing. So, I mean, I think it's always great to strive to like the level of quality, but I think at the same time, you're
yeah, it always depends a bit on what are you measuring with. So if you measure uh, the big of the project or of your own success, like subscribers or something, it's always a bit different. Or
do
if
you,
you compare it with money, for example,
Mhm.
I have a lot of subscribers, but I'm just living on the edge.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, yeah,
But I mean,
difficult.
but it seems like the kind of thing that if you continue, it can continue in that direction and get better. But like, and do you, I mean, based on kind of what you're saying and the criteria that, um, it takes a lot of frequency and you have to stay current and that, it's like to me, it'd be okay to sacrifice some quality just because if our measurement of success for that platform, if we're trying to be successful specific to a platform like YouTube, frequency is, you can't do an avatar, right? You can't every month, you can't
Yeah.
put condense 6 years of work or however many years of work into like 1 month. So like to some degree, you have to like start to say, okay, this is good enough. Like, so, I think it's all, as animators, we're always going to want to be able to do our best and always improve. But at the same time, I think to stay successful, or don't you think you got to call it done at some point, just to be able
Yeah,
to
sure.
put out enough stuff for people. I don't know.
So
I don't have as many subscribers as you do, so I don't you know more than I do about it.
yeah,
But
it's really interesting too that, for example, as a YouTuber, you have a lot of creative space if you compared to just an animation job when you work for a studio and you building a character or something, and yeah, you just stay with one character and have no ability to create a story or something.
yeah.
So you're yeah, a bit um tighten up or something.
Yeah, no, that's having YouTube and that's why I say like your broad set of skills or being able to execute on an entire thing like that has its own fulfillment, even if it's sacrificing being able to specialize in something. Um, you know, I feel like it's all always up to just like what does that person want to do when it comes down to the generalist or specialization question.
Yeah, but as I said, I would really like to create some more animation stuff or doing more 3D modeling and stuff. That's why I made the Maya course. So
Yeah,
I get the doors open for
yeah,
maybe something more, like working in the film industry or something. So
yeah.
that was also a question from me to you, if it's hard to do freelance projects for studios. So
At the high level, you know, it's not uncommon for it's usually more with like
like
concept artists. Like one of the studios I worked at, one of my coworkers, her husband was a concept artist for The Matrix, the new Blade Runner. Like he's like the guy, and so he, you know, it's not like he works for a studio. They hire him as a freelance guy on a project basis. So I think, you know, at the high level it's not, but if you're starting out as a want to be a modeler or whatever, you know, you'd be hired as, you know, a cog in the machine, which like I am, you know, we all are to a degree when you get into the studio thing. So um, freelance is a bit of a you you can interpret that in different ways. Like you know, there's like
the Lego short films you made,
mhm.
the Star Wars short films.
Yeah. So those are freelance, and I have to get permission from the people I'm working full time for, because I've never worked for anyone who's in the contract. It doesn't say we are your number one priority, and so you know,
Right.
your energy is going to be spent with us. Everyone says that in their contract, and most specifically say, you know, you have to ask permission first because they don't want you working on competing things, right? So let's just say, for example, you're working on a game A, and game B is also a first person shooter or whatever the genre. You know, you can't go freelance for the competition at the same time. There's that, and just legal reasons, you know. So when you work for like big companies that are like, you know, anyway, you can think of big company names, but they have a legal team that has to approve all this stuff, no matter how convincing you can be of like, no, but it's only this or that. It still has to go through a lawyer sometimes. So,
Okay.
so I've been fortunate that I've been able to, and sometimes I don't even, I just pass up on freelance work because I'm just like, it's just not worth it. The money starts to be like my health. It like I could take that money and then I'm gonna have to give it right to a doctor because my health is gonna suffer and I'm gonna get sick. And then I'm gonna also have to take off time from work here because I'll be sick because I'm not getting any sleep. And so
is it because you taking too much work for yourself, or are you
it,
just doing too much work from your side or from the company
no,
you're working?
it's not usually from the companies doing it, because also they wouldn't approve you to do it in the first place if you're like, let's say you're doing overtime. Um,
No advertising.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I'd take their money, but no, they if you're working OT, you're not that's not going to get approved. That normally when I've done freelance, it's like a bit slow, or it's at the beginning of a project where maybe things aren't prepared for you to work on yet, or whatnot. Or I've structured it in a way, more recently where I'll hire a team, so my role is a lot more diminished than it used to be when I was doing it more full time, kind of freelance project to project. But the Lego ones are always I try to fit in because they give me the
more easily made than other
this
animations.
exactly
Probably.
the style of animation is much easier to create. They do so much content, they're familiar with the process, and they're great clients, and so the schedule is always reasonable, and they give they want the product to be exactly what it is, so they give you the models to use. So you already have a huge head start, and I've been doing it for 10 years. I think like early on I was making Lego things, so I think they probably cycled through. It's not the same people that's hiring me, it's different people, but I already have Lego stuff to show them, even if they're new people at Lego who haven't worked with me before. But
so how many people actually worked on the Star Wars?
I keep it pretty tight, so not many, because the scope is usually doesn't require it, and I end up doing like animation wise, I can figure it out. It's sometimes it's easier, it's like anything. Sometimes it's easier just to do it yourself than to the time it would take to explain it to someone and then to them do it. It's like you start to lose amount of time.
Making mood boards and sending references and stuff.
Exactly. You've done it. You know what I'm saying. So there's that side of it, and there's people I've worked with who I don't have to do as much. So and do other things like I don't do as well, like lighting or effects work. Like there was a desk. I needed the Death Star to explode in the shape of a porg in one, and so so I hired a guy through a recommendation of Alan McKay, who's a big effects education space guy that people might know or have heard of before. So I've collaborated with Alan on a couple of things, and so I just went to him and I said, hey, do you have a student that might be interested in working on it? So it was only 2 other people, and the sound was already done. Lego side was going to deal with the sound, so I don't have to worry about that. But then I did some Lego Duplo ones that I just did all by myself.
I'm not sure if I watched it. I think it was I watched the Lego short film with the plane. So the plane was going down
that one
into the water.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad, actually. That was like one of my first ones.
So
don't watch that one. That was one of my first ones. But yeah.
You start somewhere. So
yeah, you got to start somewhere. And in general, like I'm usually not. I'm pretty kind to myself in that way, because I know anything that I make today is always going to be not as good as something I'm going to make tomorrow. So I kind of get rid of the perfection mindset even when I'm working on something, because I know it's always going to get better and better. So it helps me work quicker. And these projects require that a lot of time. But the Duplo one I'm referring to, actually, I've been thinking about doing a webinar on it, because it's been 1 year since it's been out, and it's just, I think it's close to 66 million views right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's which made me think I feel like I should in the future ask for some. Hey, if this gets more than 1 million, let's start to do a little kickback here. Yeah.
Maybe you can credit me at the end of the short film.
Something. Give me some Legos. Hey, for every 1 million.
They also credit you in the Star Wars short film, not the Star Wars short film.
Some of them they do.
Short film, and then in the title was by Lucas Ridley.
Yes.
Really nice that they did that.
Yeah, I think it depends on their project, like how they're positioning that work, whether it was like fan made or their kind of marketing side of that kind of dictates whether or not they would credit it.
So was the fan made animation like a project you offered them?
No, it was one that was kind of it's a format that they don't really do anymore, I think. But it was like they hired 3 or 4 people, but it was like a competition style thing, which I probably wouldn't do now because it's at the end of you making it, they determine whether or not you get first, second, or third, which is like a different pay scale. So, yeah, I don't think they do that anymore. But
yeah, but maybe next time you should get some links in there in the info
something.
box.
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
digital creator school.
yeah.
In the info box.
That's gonna be a hard sell, I think.
Right.
But it's worth
Yeah.
maybe mentioning it as a joke, half joking, half serious.
The channel deserves, of course, more subscribers. I think it's really weird that it has it's not so big.
Oh, sorry, which one are you referring to?
Digital creator school.
The
made.
YouTube channel, or
Yeah, right.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I just kind of started posting regularly. I committed and I put on the banner new video every week this last week, and I have like 2 months of videos already scheduled. So
That's nice.
I'm gonna try.
So yeah, collaborations like these are really good.
It's great, yeah.
Wow.
And case in point, this is going to be a video on the channel, so it helps keep it going. I think
I will tell my subscribers about it.
yeah,
So-
hey, no pressure, but
No, I really think you need the appreciation or what it's called.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to get like too deep here at the last bit of the interview, but like part of the reason why I'm doing it isn't to like gain subscribers. It's so I'm a cancer survivor, so I've like dealt with like confronting death and whatnot. Oh, there it is.
All right. Yeah, sorry for the conditions. It's
no, it's all good. I feel like
setting up.
This makes it real, you know.
Yeah, of course. Some authentic stuff you need on YouTube, of course.
There you go. Yeah, this is not pre-scripted here. But yeah, I was just gonna say, part of the reason why I share this stuff and I'm enjoying, conversations like these is because I don't want, experience like yours or like mine. I don't want that to go to waste. Like having been surviving cancer a few years ago.
I saw your short film about that.
Oh, all right. That's terrible too. Don't watch that.
Really impressive. Yeah, I searched up a bit. I did my homework.
Thanks, man. All right. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. That's not anywhere. That's like on my Vimeo channel only. Because I made that when I was like just finishing chemotherapy, and it was for my own personal gratification, but nothing else. But so having survived cancer, part of that experience was what's the point of me having lived these however many years if everything I've experienced just dies with me? Because I know, some of the things I've done have been hard to do or learn or whatever. And so that's why it kind of has motivated me to try to share a little bit more, just so that,
that's also really interesting because I was thinking if the animation thing you started, like being an animator and stuff and having the patience for your animations, did it had something to do with your cancer?
I was already working in animation, but yeah, actually, cancer gave me a lot more urgency about pursuing what I want to do. So that was kind of the shift for me, surviving that because of getting punched in the face a little bit of like,
you need to enjoy your life.
It's a balance between anxiety and urgency is the balance to strike, but don't waste time. If you want to do something, go do it. Don't, because when you're staring at a hospital ceiling and you're in a hospital bed, you can't do it. So
I think if you look back from now, it was really good to have this experience because you learned so much from it, so 100%. That many people doesn't really recognize to appreciate in your life.
Yeah, and that's why I try to. I want to share a little bit about, because sometimes I know talking about death or confronting death makes people uncomfortable, but I feel like hopefully if I talk about it a little bit, they don't have to go through that experience to also gain the knowledge that I to be a bit more urgent about pursuing what you want to do, and sharing a little bit about of that. So anyway,
Yeah, I think it's really nice that you posted this video, because I don't know, I never saw this, and it was really, you really empathize with that person in the video, and through all the actions, and it was a bit like, yeah, a documentation thing. So
yeah, it was.
yeah.
Yeah, some of it was actual footage that actually occurred, like the church scene stuff. I actually attended a church debate between those people, and got permission from that church. Actually, I was surprised they gave it to me to use the footage. Um, and then
I
some of the cancer
first
footage.
thought you put like stock footage into the video, so like you're sitting in the church and just using other material and put it in, like when they had the conversation.
Oh no, yeah. So I actually attended that event.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there, and then after the fact, I filmed the reaction shots
Hmm.
in that church. They let me come back, and they were super great about it. But yeah, that was a really uncomfortable experience to be in, having gone through. Anyway, for people who aren't watching it, they're not going to understand what we're referring to. But
I'm not sure if you even edit this into the
yeah,
video,
it's
but it
fine.
would be nice, so
Yeah.
people have a bit more, yeah, insight of your life.
Yeah, and it's a fine line to be like, I don't want people to think I'm just doing this to stroke my own ego, but I want people to,
Sure.
I want to give as much as is helpful to people, or it's hard to determine what people are going to want to hear, so I just try to share as much as I can, but yeah. So for the last question, what if people see the kind of animation that you do, and they want to do something similar? What advice would you give to someone who, your 16-year-old self, if you had to do it different, or someone just starting out? What advice would you give to them if they want to do what you're doing?
So I would say, yeah, you inspire by great work, but don't measure with the people who create this work, and just compare or measure your own to your own work and to your own development. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
great.
something I really need to share to all animators who wants to start, because I get these comments really often, and that's the thing, the competition thing, that really, yeah, puts the people down to create their own stuff. They always say you have so much talent, but in reality, I don't. I think it's 80% hard work, and it's just 20% what you're doing, talent. So
I'd agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I think if people say it's talent, then that gives them an out to not pursue it, because then they're like, well, I don't have the talent. It's like, that's not what it is. You can work
yeah,
hard to do it even without the talent.
it's a bit like they are trying to not work on that. So they just think, okay, he was born like an animator, so he can do this.
Yeah.
But when I look back to my animations I made in the beginning, it wasn't really good. It actually didn't look like I would do something like that for a living now. So yeah, and of course, you should remind to be patient with yourself, and it takes time to get good results. So
100%. I
that's
agree
really
wholeheartedly
important.
with all that. Yeah. Awesome.
Sometimes it's tough, but if the ball is rolling,
Hmm.
it works. It
Well, I
just
mean,
needs to be.
you're proof of all that. If that's what you're doing, it shows that it's working. Because I mean,
Yeah, for
that's
you too.
impressive. Well, Jerome, thanks for taking the time for this interview, and going down all these rabbit holes with me. And I will,
Sure.
yeah, look forward to following more of your work and catching up with you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this interview with Jerome. If you want to see more of his work, check out his YouTube channel, The Blue Jerome. And if you want to learn about Maya and how to create animations like his and take the same Maya class that he's taking, check out digitalcreatorschool.com. And I have a Maya for Beginners series, which is 25 hours long, but it's divided up into basically the kind of departments that are at animation studios. So you start with modeling, then go to texturing, then rigging, then animation, then effects, and then we render and light an entire project together. So hope to see you there, and check out, of course, all the other kind of classes I have at digitalcreatorschool.com. And I hope you like and subscribe to see more videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.